All right. Mic check, mic check. Steve, go ahead and say something for me, brother.
What's that song? My mic sounds right. Check one. My mic check sounds right. Check two.
I can't say I know that one.
It's oh my God! It's from the '90s. It's some female rap song.
Female raps, jeez, fair enough.
Maybe TLC. I don't remember.
Fair enough. I have to look it up. Ready to rock?
Yep.
All right. Welcome to another episode of Weirdinary. I'm your host, BradQuan, and today I have a very special guest. He is a man who has served in the Air Force for 18 years. He is providing service to those, he has been providing service to those with developmental disabilities for 32 years. He is one of the most solid individuals I know, possessing a heart of gold, ample wisdom, and the patience of a saint, as far as I know. As far as I know. He's a God-fearing man, and through that, a molder of divine human beings. He's a father of 3, soon to be 4. We can get into that if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
You know what I'm saying? This is my guy, Steve Bevis. Brother, how the fuck are you, man?
Good. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. And dude, it was, like I said, man, it was an absolute pleasure. I'm honored that you were able to take the time to sit down with me. You know what I mean? You're a very busy man.
I did get to sleep in a little bit, so.
What is sleeping in for a man who's used to being on military time? Like back when you were in the Air Force, were you up at like 4 or 5 in the morning?
We got up at 6 in basic training, but I, at the time, had been living in Northern Virginia, and anywhere you go there for work, it's a 2 or 3 hour commute. So I was getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, so I actually got to sleep in joining the military.
Fair enough. So the Air Force, I really wanna tap into that, but before we get into that, because you joined when you were what, like 21?
31.
31. All right. So let's take it back to the beginning, my friend. First off, whereabouts are you from?
All over. Born in Ohio, lived in Kentucky for a year or so, and then spent the rest of the time in Pennsylvania.
Okay. That said, when you think back to your childhood, what experience first taught you that caring for other people mattered?
Oh my gosh. Well, that's always been something my parents, through everything, that was like a theme that they had taught us, both me and my sister, was, you got to care about the other person. So it kind of got instilled from as long ago as I can remember.
Okay. You grew up with both your parents?
Yes.
Okay. Siblings. You have a
Younger sister.
Younger sister?
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. Walk me through your childhood, man, because chatting with you, man, I get to chat with you often, and I mean, you're such a down to earth guy. You know what I mean? When I hear you speak about your children, you have 3 of them that are your biological children, right? What are their ages again?
My oldest is 26.
Okay.
Then I've got a 14-year-old and a 12-year-old.
Okay. What year were you born?
64.
Is it fair to say in that era, your parents, were they considered baby boomers? Were they baby boomers or?
No, they were silent generation.
Silent generation? Okay, so are you a boomer?
I'm a boomer.
You're a boomer.
Last year,
okay.
the boomers.
All right, last year the boomers. Okay, your parents were the silent generation. So, if I'm not mistaken, they firmly believe like children should be seen and not heard.
Yep, I
right?
heard that a lot growing up.
Okay, fair enough. So
I didn't pay attention to it a lot, if you can tell.
I like that about you. You know what I mean? So,
Silence hasn't been one of my strong points.
So I guess describe to me your childhood. I mean, like, what was your relationship with your parents? I want to understand the free spirited molder of human beings.
Mom was a school teacher when I was younger. She then went to the Navy.
Okay.
But so we lived in outskirts of Cleveland, Ohio, Geauga County, in a subdivision that was still being built. So there's still empty lots to play in. Every so often we'd get lucky and there'd be a basement that we could play around in that they were digging. But it was one of those deals, you know, back in that day, you grabbed your bike when you got up, off you went, and that subdivision didn't necessarily have street lights at that time. But, you know, until it started getting dark and, you know, mom's out on the front porch hollering, you had the day to yourself. And there were, you know, neighbors were neighbors then, so I'd get a spanking from one of the neighbors just as soon as I'd get a spanking from mom if I was misbehaving. There was still eyes on us, even though we were kind of wild.
Dude, I couldn't imagine getting my ass whooped by the neighbor. I hated getting my ass whooped by my mom. I rarely got one from my dad. He was a man of few words, but when that motherfucker was mad, oh my God. Dude, getting an ass whooped from a neighbor is wild work. Oh my, I mean, how the hell was that? What the hell was that like?
Usually just a swat, you know. It wasn't like, you know, they get the Hot Wheels, you know, racetrack or anything. Nothing like that. It was just like, you know, a SWAT, you know.
Okay.
I'm calling your mom, you need to go home.
Okay, the Hot Wheels race, that sounds like a personal experience. Have you?
Well, I've heard of that, but...
oh, you never experienced that yourself?
Well, I have, but not from my parents. Okay, it was, you know, my sister and I fighting, and, you know, if that was out, that was always a choice weapon, because those things stung.
Oh, God. Holy moly. All right, so, like, as a child, would you say you were sheltered? Did you have free reign? I mean, like, what was that like? In terms of you really finding yourself?
No, I was sheltered a lot.
Okay.
We were closely involved with the church. My parents are very conservative. So there was, you know, there were limits that I tested, but there were limits, even though I had a lot of freedom. But all of us did back then. You know, there wasn't worry about, you know, stranger danger and all that. The neighborhood was ours to explore. Mm-hmm. And it was a fairly big neighborhood too, but yeah, I was pretty much sheltered. And then I left a town of 30,000 in Pennsylvania and went to Penn State University, which has just on campus there's like 90,000, and then there's, you know, tons that are in apartments and whatever off campus. So it was a bit of a culture shock there, and I kind of lost myself for a little while.
Okay, fair enough. And okay, so I definitely want to put a pin in that because I do remember us talking about that briefly before. I want to talk about the church and the conservativeness that you were raised within. I know now that you're a God-fearing man. Mm-hmm. Would you consider yourself religious or faithful?
No. Oh boy. Both.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm ordained through the National Association of Christian Ministers. Okay. So I'm actually a preacher too.
Okay. That's what's up. Whereabouts do you preach at?
I don't. Every once in a while I get to do a sermon, but I'm trying to start a ministry. It's Lost Lambs Rescue and Ministry, based for folks that fall between the cracks, you know, homeless, drug users, prostitutes, the people that think, you know, I can never go to church because they won't welcome me there. We kind of have a loose thing of what we want to look like at the end. We want to be able to be mobile, so we're planning on having a couple of, Tide has them, and they send them to disaster zones, but buses that are outfitted with washers and dryers. Okay. Another one that's fitted out with showers and dressing stations, and then another one that has like a kitchenette where we can, you know, do food, and then it'll also have clean clothing and things like that to replace, you know, clothing that isn't worthy to be washed in the other bus. Okay. You just throw it away and give them something new and clean. That's a long way off. But that's what I kind of want it to look like at the end.
The process,
with you know, there'll be a brick and mortar actual mission. I don't know that it would be a church,
Like a rescue mission, sort of, or?
Yeah, sort of. I mean, there's lots of those, but someplace where we can, possibly put some cots and some more showers, and it'll probably have a small little chapel in it. But that kind of thing.
I like that. Are you conservative yourself, if you don't mind me asking?
I describe myself as a liberal conservative.
I figured that. I figured you probably fell in the middle. How did your upbringing kind of, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. My next question for you. As a teenager, what part of yourself did you struggle the hardest to understand?
Oh my goodness, there was so much. I was late to mature as a teenager.
Okay.
Not that I was playing with toys, but I lacked the serious whatever thing. I still kind of do. But let's see, what did I struggle with the most? I guess just facing maturity. That I didn't want to give up whatever it is I had, to be the 9 to 5 Monday through Friday sitting in an office whatever type person. I wanted to be something else, and I always looked up to my dad was a funny man, and there were a few men in our church that were also very funny, but they were also very God-fearing. And that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be somebody who was very approachable, yet, not crossing the line, which I have trouble finding that line sometimes. Sometimes I step a little over it, but
I guess, does that come just with age, with time? I mean, like,
I think so. I think so, because not too awful long ago, I had no balance. It was all, but since I had a heart attack, 4 years ago? Since then, I've kind of learned to balance it out. You can't go full throttle all the time. You have to, give and take and smell the roses and,
Heart attack, damn, what was that? Like, does your life flash before your eyes? Because you really don't
No, I didn't even know I was having it.
Oh, wow. Holy
And it was a widowmaker.
what?
A widowmaker. It's the anterior lower main artery. And only something like 20% of people survive it.
The widowmaker, is it something that's predominantly associated with males? Is that why it's...
I imagine so. I'm not sure. But, historically, it's always been, the men that have the heart attacks and whatever that, they didn't realize that pain in the back of the woman's, between the shoulder blades, that's actually, a heart attack, for her. But, yeah, I had been I thought I did, because my shoulders are kind of shot. And I thought I'd pulled, something in my shoulders, lifting somebody, rolling somebody, whatever at work. And I was doing an overnight one night with somebody. Their lift had broken, and they didn't have a replacement available. So they asked me to go in there because I knew how to transfer this person without a lift safely. Mm-hmm. So I was there, and she had to go to the bathroom during the night, and I transferred her and then transferred her back, and I'm like, oh man, my shoulders are just killing me, and it came across my chest, and it felt like muscle, So I sat there for a while, and it finally went away, and I said, I got to see the doctor about this. So I called my doc at the VA here in Queensbury, and talked to the nurse, and I said, yeah, I've been having this pain in my shoulders, and I need to, make an appointment to get it checked out. And she said, are you able to drive? And I said, yeah. And she says, well, I need you to drive to Albany to the VA hospital. She says, if you can't drive, she says, or if your chest is hurting too much, she says, come to the office and we'll have an ambulance take you down. And I'm thinking, what kind of crap is this? So I go down there, drove myself down there, walk in the door, walk in the ER, and they're like, what can we do for you? And I'm like, well, I'm sorry to, take up your time, but my shoulders are hurting, and my primary care office sent me here, and they said, no, that's what we do. Anything in the upper, chest area, whatever, we'd rather you come here and we check it out. Mm. So they said, we're just gonna have you laid here. We're gonna do an EKG. So they did an EKG, and they did a couple They pulled some blood, and so they said, "Sir, we're going to have to keep you here. You're presently having a heart attack." And I'm like, "What?"
The fuck? Because when you think of a heart attack, you think of somebody like,
Yeah, that's
mean?
what I
Like,
thought. The whole Fred Sanford thing, Elizabeth.
Yeah, Jesus.
But no, so they took me upstairs, and at 4 a.m., this gentleman comes up and he says, "Mr. Bevis, I'm sorry to interrupt your sleep. I'm your cardiologist. We're going to have to do a procedure on you in the morning." He says, "We're going to have to take you across the parking lot to Albany Med because it's not a procedure we do here." And he says, "And they're going to keep you for a day or two, and then you can go home." And at that point, he says, "It's a good thing you came in because you probably had 24 hours left." And I'm thinking, wow.
Shit.
But anyways, they took me over. And I had 2 of the on-call phones with me.
You were on call too. Oh wow.
So they sent somebody to get the on-call phones.
Oh,
and they just
shit.
said, Steve's down in Albany Med.
Yeah.
Can you go pick up the on-call phones from him?
Why'd you have both?
I had the overnight, and then they didn't have somebody to pick up one of the groups. So I was overnight in a group.
Oh, wow.
So she thought I was down there with, sitting with somebody, sitting with them at the hospital. So, she walks in the room, and there I'm, in the gown, and they're prepping me up with all the stuff. And she's like, "Wait, what's going on?" I said, "Oh, yeah, it's me this time." And I said, the phones are over in that paper bag over there. I said, "Don't worry, there's no bloomers in there." And the nurse says, "No bloomers in there." Says, "Where's your bloomers?" And I said, "I'm wearing them." And she says, "You need to take them off right now." And I'm like, "Well, nobody said I had to take my bloomers off."
What the fuck?
But anyway, she took the thing, and the procedure went well. And I stayed another day there, and then I had to walk from Albany Med all the way across their parking lot, across the VA parking lot, down behind where the ER is, to get to my car and drive home. And I said, "Well, I survived the walk, so I guess the surgery went okay."
I mean, that's a blessing, dude. I mean, I think everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
I mean, what is
Well,
that?
I think I was changed a little bit after that. I don't know, you familiar with ASMR, with the whole, the head tingle thing or whatever. And when I was a kid, I used to get the head tingle when the teachers would talk to me. But I don't know, it just like textures and stuff were different. Colors were different. I was reading a old book, and it had one of those old cloth covers on the pasteboard. And I, was reading it in my nails, and I'm like, "Oh, I like that." And I was just sitting there with the book. Like, oh, man.
You watch those videos, the
ASMR, yeah, where they, they do the thing with the comb and the blowing in the ear, yeah.
I get the weird ones. I get the ones with the nasty calluses that they peel off.
Oh,
and shit
yeah.
like that. I don't know how the fuck I get these. But,
I've seen enough nasty calluses in my life.
You know what I mean? But I very much understand ASMR. It doesn't matter how disgusting it is. It's still very relieving to see it.
Yeah,
You know what
and
I mean?
sensorily, it's just, I don't know, my senses are different since the heart attack. Food's more flavorful, or not flavorful, as the case may be, what I'm eating. Colors are different, just sounds are different. It's just, I don't know, different. I'm more appreciative, I think, of everything.
I was gonna say, you think it enhanced your senses?
I think so. I think so.
Some Matt Murdock shit, he lost his sight, but then everything else is just enhanced.
Yeah.
Penn State. You said as a child you were sheltered, church and conservativeness. Let me ask you: was the church and religion, was that forced upon you?
Maybe when I was wee little.
When you were little.
But you grow up in it, so
it's all you know.
It's all you know, yeah.
I asked that because a lot of kids that are sort of forced into that rigidity, that structure, they tend to rebel. You know what I mean? Would you say that is what impacted your rebellious nature in college? Because I mean, when you're sheltered, you're on a fucking leash. Trust me, I completely understand that. Dude, once that leash is cut, brother,
Or just don't even know what all is out there.
Exactly, exactly. You know what I mean? You're in this box. Suddenly, you see the fucking door, and you can actually make it to it through it, brother. You're going crazy, man. You know what I mean? You're like, God damn, man, I never knew all this existed. You know what I mean? So I guess like explain the college experience to me, and just kind of walk me through that. I imagine did you feel like you could breathe once you were out of the house? I mean, like, how was that for you?
No, there wasn't really that so much, but there was a lot of freedom. And I didn't know how to handle all the freedom. So I was there for 2 years, and then they asked me to take a semester off on probation, and then
Why?
Seems they have a rule about showing up drunk for class.
You said,
who knew?
oh God. I can't imagine what it must have been like in school. Holy shit, man. So wait, so you were dead the fuck drunk? Like it wasn't hungover?
No,
like,
I had like just stopped drinking. It's like, oh, I got to go to class. And
holy shit, man. Fucking
and,
rebel, dude.
The filter is kind of gone.
Oh my
at that
God.
Point, so
what was your drink of choice? You strike me as like a black liquor as like a dark liquor kind of guy.
Back then, it was whatever I could
you get your hands
drink on. Yeah.
Jesus, man. God, hey, man. You know, I get it.
Yeah. And then, and kind of worried that I had a drinking problem. It's like, man, I'm drinking a lot. I'm drinking like every day, this, that. But then once I kind of got used to having that freedom, you know, it stopped. I mean, I still occasionally have a drink, but not like nothing like that.
Did your parents drink or anything? Is that something you
Very
saw?
little.
Very little.
Yeah, about what I drink now. You know, every couple of weeks they might have a cocktail with dinner, or, you know, they might sit down in the living room with some sort of cocktail. You know, very occasionally. But yeah, they drank very little.
Fair enough. So did you graduate college?
No, truth be known, I could have still done it, but, you know, excuses.
That's a fact. That's a fact. You know what I mean? Comfort overrides awareness. You know what I mean? You get comfortable in whatever situation. It's just like, I can do that shit whenever. You know you need to. You got to satisfy that itch that can actually progress you. But it's just like, you know, it's just like as long as I'm alive, I have time. You know what I mean? That's kind of just kind of where we think. That's shit that I know damn well that's what I default to. You know what I mean? So that said, that's actually a beautiful segue into my next question for you. What did your years in the Air Force teach you about the difference between strength and compassion?
Well, being in the medical field, I mean, you know, both of those went hand in hand. So, you know, I was reading a thing about, you know, we both have talked about stoicism, and there's a thing called Christian stoicism where, you know, you're nothing gets to you, you know, you're stronger than anything, but you're also feeling that compassion. With true stoicism, you know, this is just earth, this is just whatever, this doesn't concern me, you know, and you just go on. So, you know, the medical stuff I was doing with the Air Force was kind of like the Christian stoicism type of thing, where, you know, you had to be strong enough to deal with whatever you were dealing with, but you also had that compassion for whoever it was that you were taking care of. I don't know how well that answers the question, but
You're fine. It's far too easy to overthink something and to be like, damn, did I actually answer that? You're fine, dude. Tell me, like, what made you join the Air Force in particular?
It was something I always wanted to do.
There's no lie, you gotta be smart to be able to fucking take that test.
Yeah.
That test is not fucking easy. I consider myself a smart guy, but I struggled on that practice exam. I was like, what the fuck is we got here?
No, it was something I'd always wanted to do, but again, you know, the excuses / you know, stuff in my life, wasn't able to do it. So I had actually been in a long-term relationship at one point, and that fell apart, and I was dating this girl, and you talk, and I was talking about joining the military. I always wanted to join the military, never joined the military. So she pulled up one day. She says, I have a surprise for you. Get in the car. So she took me over to the Air Force recruiter's office, and I'm like, oh, and she's like, nope, you're going in. I'm like, all right. So she goes in with me.
It's like a reverse intervention. Yeah. Holy shit, dude. Oh my God.
So I'm in there, and at that point I was 30 years old. I by the time I took the oath I was 31, but I was 30 at that point. And so this was the active duty recruiter, and he's like, dude, you're too old. And apparently he didn't know anything about an age waiver, because there is like an age waiver you can, because I think the cutoff at that time was 28. So they had a little bit of flexibility there with stuff. But he says, if you go down the hallway, the reserve recruiter's down there. So I talked with the reserve recruiter, and they kind of set me up. They sent me to take my ASVAB, and I did really well on the ASVAB. So I came back, and she says, okay, so basically you qualify for any job we've got.
Shit.
And she's showing me stuff like seat upholsterer for a plane, the fuel technician, the gas jockey, stuff that isn't, it's very important, but it's not, I don't know, glamorous. And I'm looking, and I'm thinking, none of this stuff really, does it for me. And she's like, well, there is this one job. Okay. And I'm thinking, okay, here it comes. But
okay.
It was an aerovac technician, and she says, now this is reserve, however, you are going to be doing some active duty with it. She says your initial active duty is, 2 years and a few months. And then after that, it's not going to be just the one weekend. You're going to have to fly on, during the week, during the month. You may be sent on TDY to different locations. She says that 90% of the mission is with the reserves, so you're going to be very busy. I'm thinking, that's what I want.
God damn. God damn.
So that's what I did.
How did that enhance your perception of yourself?
You can do a lot more than you think you can do. Going through basic training at 31 years old, and I'm thinking, what am I doing here?
You can do a lot more.
But then I'm seeing these 18, 19-year-old boys, and they're just collapsing, and I'm thinking, maybe I got the right idea.
You can do a lot more than you think you can
Yep.
do. I like that.
Yep.
So, that said, how did that impact your life as a family man? You know what I mean? Well, you got married at what age?
I got married at 33 or 34.
It's not easy and you had kids already, right? You got a child already?
No.
Not yet?
No. He was born in 2000. So I'd been married for a few years before he popped out.
How did your time in the military impact your experience as a husband and a father?
I was away a lot, but my wife, she came from a military family.
Okay, so she understood.
So she kind of understood. She would just do like little side jobs, so she was, very flexible as to being able to be home and, take care of Alex and whatever needed to be done. Alex, to this day, is proud of the fact that he has never had to go to a daycare, that his mom was always there at home with him to, take care of him. Mm-hmm. Who also has joined the Army. So it couldn't have been too traumatic on him, because first thing he did was join the military. Yep.
Fair enough.
But no, that went pretty well. Towards the end, it started to fall apart. And there were, I forget how many of us now, 15, 16 of us that went out with the first group for Iraqi freedom. And I think almost all of us were married, but by, I would say 2-3 years later, there was only one couple that was still married. So it is rough on marriages.
You've been married how many times?
Twice.
Fair enough. I guess explain to me your experience through marriage.
Both my marriages at the beginning at least. You know, it's like you're attached to the hip with your best friend. And you know, it's good. It really is. You've got, you know, somebody right there that's, you know, got your back. You know, same bed, same house, they're always there. Doing stuff together. You know, you don't have to think, oh man, I want to go see that movie. Who am I going to go ask? You know, you got somebody right there, whether they want to see that movie or not, because they're going to have a movie they want to see that you don't want to see, and you're going to go.
That's a fact. That's a fact. That said, how does love mean to you?
Love means a lot, and it's got various stages and flavors and whatever.
I guess if you could strip it down to its nucleus, you know what I mean? Like what is love at its core?
It's unconditional love for someone or everyone, but you know, no judgment. I mean, you know, it is what it is, and you know, you can, you know, see your wife sitting there. You know, oops, I'm sorry, that was your foot. You know, I'm trying to mimic it here. You know, shaving calluses off the bottom of her foot before she comes to bed, and you're good with it. It's like, yeah, I love her, whatever.
Yeah. You know
oh, sweetheart, you missed a spot. Let me help you there. You know.
Yes, yeah. I can understand that. And I mean, no judgment.
Well, you know, there's guys in the military that found out exactly, you know, how much their wives loved them because they come home missing a leg, an arm, whatever. They're messed up with PTSD, whatever the thing is, and their lives like, no, sorry, can't deal with it. I'm out.
Yeah. You know, and that's the.
And I like to think that's not the norm. I you know, for the most part, from all I know, you know, the wives are glad to have their husbands back, however they can have them back, and are very supportive and all that from what I've seen. But there's always those few that, you know, maybe it wasn't the real thing.
Yeah, I mean, hell, you live with one of your ex-wives as well as Haley, who's a woman that you are going to adopt. How did you meet her, if you don't mind?
All right, so
Haley is going to be the fourth child of his. Yes.
Yeah, trying to get the paperwork all straightened out to get her adopted. So I was working overnights. They wanted me to stop at as many houses as I could. This is when I was overnight supervisor. I think I hit all but 3. And driving home and was really tired, you know, kind of, and I had one of the company vans. So I'm like, you know what, I got to close my eyes for a minute. So I pulled into the parking, was it Park and Ride, whatever that is, there off of exit 16. And I'm just about asleep, and I hear all this hullabaloo. And here's this guy beating up on this girl. They were obviously homeless. She was hollering at him, you know, I've called the police. And he went running. So I got out and I, you know, made sure he was fine. And, you know, when I was sitting in the car, God said, you know, you need to help this girl or she's going to die. So I got out, went over, and I said, did you really call the police? And she's like, yeah. And I said, okay, I'll hang out till the police get here in case he comes back. And it wasn't too long that the police came up, and she had, at that time, 2 dogs, and the police was like, yeah, you know, we can take you to the women's shelter or whatever it is, and you know, I'll have to take, or they'll have to come and get your dogs and take them over to the animal shelter. And she was not wanting to part with her dogs, so she was talking about she had family in Maine. And I said, you know what? I said, I'm off tomorrow, so let me return this van because it doesn't belong to me, and I'll come and I'll drop the van off. I'll come and get you. We'll go to Maine. I'll drop you off, and with your family, and you know, go from there. So the cop actually, I believe the cop stayed there until I came back, because all I had to do was go up 1 or 2 more exits, drop the van off, bring my car back, and so it took her, oh my gosh, what was it, 3 hours, 4 hours, I don't know. It seemed like it was forever. Took her to Maine, dropped her off with her family, gave her my, and I'd given her my business card, my pastor's my pastor's business card. So she didn't think I was, going to put her in a pit and, it puts the lotion on,
I was just thinking about Buffalo Bill the other day.
And the cop was a little iffy at first too. And I gave him my card.
Okay.
But anyways, brought her up there. So she had my card. And she's like, I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know if this is going to work. I said, give it 2 weeks. I said, at the end of 2 weeks, if it's not working, give me a call. So 2 weeks went by, and I'm thinking, wow, it's working. Thank goodness. And then, like, 2 weeks and 2 days, she calls. She's like, yeah, I left my family. I'm in this house. I don't know where I am. The guy that brought me here is asleep, and I need to get out of here. And I'm like, okay, well, where are you? She's like, I don't know the address. I don't know where I am. So it's just somebody she'd met online or something.
Oh, shit.
So I said, okay, well, he's asleep. Can you quietly go and see if you can find something, a piece of mail or something with an address on it? So she found like an electric bill or something that was laying somewhere. So I got the address and I said, okay, it's going to take me a couple hours to get there. So I went and picked her up, brought her back here. At that time, the ex-wife was still here. She blew up. So.
She blew up?
Oh, yeah. She was not wanting any part of this. She still doesn't. So arranged for her to have hotel room, and then got her in touch with the county, and they put her up for a while. In the meantime, I had her dogs here because she couldn't keep her dogs, so I'd bring her dogs up to her every day. Got to the point where it just wasn't working out for her with the county for whatever reason. And by that time, I think Kathy had moved out with her boyfriend at that point. So I brought Haley in, and there was a basement bedroom here at this house. It's now Haley's apartment. She's got a refrigerator down there. She's got it all set up.
Rock and roll.
But in any case, so got her set up there, and then the rest has been, trying to get her back on her feet and working on her issues, because we all have issues and some of us need help with them.
Damn,
but then Kathy came back and it's all started up again.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so Kathy wasn't with the shits then. She came back and she ain't with the shits now. So you said that they butt heads every now and then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Someone gets called a name and the cops get called.
Yep.
And I'm like, but you deal with it. You deal with the chaos, man, and you know what I mean? You're able to still maintain a sense of stability. I mean, you know what I mean? The way you move, man, I could never, unless you say something, it's not, I don't think you wear your heart on your sleeve.
Not too much.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like you carry yourself very well. Like, you'll say some shit. I'm like, God damn, you would see that on me, the stress of that. But you carry yourself in such a way, man. You just, I don't know, man. You wear a smile. You wear a smile through it.
I mean, a lot of it you can make funny. I mean,
yes, you do do that. You do that. Yeah. That shit is that's definitely.
If I was a stand-up comedian, I've got all the material I ever need.
I think that's incredible. You know what I mean? You really took this young woman under your wing. You gave her a second chance, essentially. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And even your ex-wife. I mean, she's an ex for a reason. You know what I mean? But still, you have enough love and respect for her to give her another chance as well as to get herself together. Third chance, you know what I mean? Get herself in order.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I just think that says a lot about you, and I think that's a wonderful model for your young boys that you have here.
Yeah, that's what I try to be as a model for them.
As to what a man is. And let me ask you, man, what is a man to you, man?
I used to carry a copy of Rudyard Kipling's If in my pocket all the time.
Okay.
You're probably familiar with that. If I can walk with kings yet still be friendly with the common man or whatever, you gotta balance. Mm-hmm. You can be in any situation and you somehow know how to handle it. You keep your cool as best you can. I'm not saying I always keep my cool, but
You're human,
yeah.
you know.
But that's basically it. I mean, you know, you meet everything head on, or try to.
It's a good man, bro. You know what I mean? I like that. And we're about at the latter end here.
Okay.
You spent much of your life carrying responsibility for others. What has that responsibility quietly given back to you?
It gives me a feeling that, you know, I've actually helped. Once early on, I had left this type of field for a while and went to work at a Ford factory making Ford trucks. This was, oh my goodness, early 80s, I think, late 90s, early 80s, somewhere. Making really good money for the time. But I hated it because I didn't feel like I was helping anybody. You know, I was putting these doors together for Ford trucks and making this money, and I just felt, I don't know, I guess kind of empty.
Hollow,
because I wasn't, you know, helping people.
You need that direct line to the souls of others. I get it. Because one can argue, oh yeah, man, you're helping people. You know what I mean? The people you putting cars together, you're helping people get from point A to point B. I mean, you can twist that up however the fuck you want.
It's got to be the up close and personal.
Yeah. No, I completely understand it, man. I was selling mattresses for a while, and I'm like, I ain't really helping people. Like, you were helping people, you're helping them sleep better. I'm like, yeah, listen, man, there's a more direct way for me to do this shit, man. You know, so nah, I can understand that, man. And my last question for you, King. When people remember you long after you're gone, what do you hope they say about the way you made them feel?
How the way I made them feel. I want them to feel that I was their friend, that I was there for them.
It's one thing I can say, man. You know, shit. I mean, and obviously, you know, we work together. You know what I mean? Obviously, we don't have to say the name of the agency or anything. But despite all of the drama that we experience where we work, you you are one guy that I know I can trust. You know what I'm saying? You are definitely the soul of the space in which we work. You know what I mean? I rock with you, Steve. You're a good man, and you're somebody that's truly an inspiration to me, and you truly walk in the shoes of a king because you are somebody who dedicates your life to being of service to others. You know what I'm saying? Very much thank you for taking the time out to chat with me here today, man.
Thank you.
Hell yeah, brother.
It was fun.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Like it's Saturday. Let me get my shit together and get my ass to work.